Hey everybody, what's up? This is Runicus Highwind, and I haven't done this in a while, but I'm gonna show off some of my game collection. We're gonna do this video is going to be my Nintendo Switch, which I've only had for maybe a little over a year. I gotta say I was skeptical about it at first, but after my Vita died and I didn't have any, decent portable gaming, besides, my PSP and my 3DS, I decided, let's get this and we'll see what happened. And I am simply amazed with it. It's a nice little system. It's powerful. I don't use it in dock mode very often because I'm not normally home to play. But I absolutely love the system. I love the games that are going to it, and I hope more, especially with rumors that the 3DS, certain 3DS games are getting ported over. Maybe I can pick up some of the 3DS games so I don't have to use two different systems to play one game. But yeah, so we're gonna do my Nintendo Switch. We have two of these in my household, one for me, one for the wife. I got tired of lending her mine, so I just sort of gave up and bought another one after a little while. Sorry, my hair is such a mess. I'm in dire need of a haircut. Anyways, let's get started. First of all, we have Digimon Cyber Sleuth: The Complete Story. I finished the original one. I haven't played Hacker's Memory yet. It's a really good game. I had the original on my Vita, but Vita's dead. I can't really play it anymore. Good game, exceptionally well done. Feels like a Persona game though. I gotta say, it feels more like Persona 4, Persona 5, where you're trying to do certain things with your friends and do things one way over the other, and then it's a good game. If you like Persona, you might be into it. I do recommend it, especially either this version, the PC version, or the PS4 version. I don't know if there's an Xbox One version. Not a system I own, so not one I'm familiar with, whatever goes to it. Next is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I haven't actually really sat down to play this very much, but it is good. One of these days I'm going to really get into Zelda games again, and I'm just going to go hog on this. Hopefully I'll start playing it before the second game comes out, which hopefully is not for a little while, because this is not a short game. Next up, we got Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I liked the first game. I haven't really played it much. I've got the enhanced edition on the 3DS. Now I'm waiting for the Switch version of the original. This is good. The only thing I really don't like about it is the combat system. It's so slow and sluggish. It's like it needs a fast forward button or some sort of option to turn it up. But graphically, it's good. There's a lot to do in the game. This would make an excellent... The Xenoblade Chronicles series would make excellent MMOs. But I don't know why they haven't done that yet. It just doesn't make sense to me. Next, we've got Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age S Definitive Edition. I have officially double dipped into Dragon Quest XI. One, to show my support, and two, when they announced this version, I was like, oh, hey, I gotta get it, because I like to have a physical copy, and my original copy is on Steam. So I like this. I might triple dip one of these days and actually buy a PS4 copy, but it's like I don't really need to because I've got the best version right here. Graphically, it's a little bit less than the Steam version. Well, I guess it's a little bit less than the PS4 version because graphically, the Steam version is always going to be the greatest way to play it. Especially when you got those few gamers out there that like to do 4K. Steam is the only way you're going to do that properly. You're able to throw new hardware back there, but this game I wholly recommend if you haven't played it. It's a very good entry point to Dragon Quest. It's a nice long game. There's plenty to do. It'll keep you busy for a while. Next up is Fallen Legacy: Rise to Glory. I bought this on a whim. It was $20. It's 2 games. It feels like sort of like what Dragon's Crown would be, but it's more difficult because you actually have to sit there and focus and do your button commands properly. Otherwise, you're gonna just flub really hard. If you can find it cheap, I mean, $20 is cheap. Pick it up. It's not bad. It's I'm pretty sure the 2 original games are actually PS4 games, maybe PS3. I'm not sure. Next up, we have Fire Emblem Three Houses. I'm currently playing this right now. Just got to part 2, and my goodness, was that ever a change on the story. It's very well done. This is one of the games you'll have to go and play it several times over just to get the story. Like I started it as Black Eagle. Story was going one way, and I stopped playing for a few months. And then when I started up again, I went with Golden Deer. And good lord, is it ever different based on the characters? Really good game for the series. There's a couple things in it that I haven't noticed if they've still got them like the full on relationships between the main character and the other characters. I don't know if that's actually fully in the game yet or not, or I haven't even come across it. But everything else is basically it's Fire Emblem to the book. Uh, Team Sonic Racing bought this for cheap. It was going on for some reason. It was on clearance like a week after it came out at the source, and I was like, $20, I'll grab it. Really good, especially compared to the original. They really refined what the original was and put it into this. And I've loved playing it. I haven't played much of it since I got it because I've got a lot of other things going on, but it's really good, especially if you're into kart racers. Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. I have this on PS3, but when I saw it was on Switch and the second game was on Switch, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna buy both games for the Switch. I still haven't finished it. I have played it maybe 3 or 4 hours of it, and I still love it. Half the time I can't remember if I'm playing a game or if I'm actually watching something from Studio Ghibli. It's just sometimes I forget that I'm actually playing the game. Next up is Octopath Traveler. If you liked Bravely Default and Bravely Second, this game has a similar system in it to those games. The only difference is there's like 8 characters to play as, and you can start with any one of them and work your way around to seeing all the stories and then getting to that point where they line up. I haven't played very far. I've restarted it a number of times. Some characters are easier to start with, some are harder, but it's a good game. I recommend getting it on the Switch over the Steam version because the Steam version is like $90 up here in Canada, whereas I think we paid $59 for this used and then on the Switch. I'm like, I'd rather have the portability over the graphics. Because the graphics aren't much. The best thing in it is generally the lighting effects that they have for certain things, like the sun rays breaking through the trees. It's really awesome, and then that's the reflections on the water I was really into and everything. There's not a whole lot else in the game graphically. Pokemon Sword. We have a copy of Sword and Shield in the house. I have finished this. I am currently waiting for the additional DLC to come out, which I'm excited for. I have 380 of the 400 that are available in here right now. Still working on getting the Shield exclusives, but that's up to my wife to get those, or if I get lucky in a Wonder Trade. Next up is Civilization 6. I do have this on PC. The reason I bought it for Steam is the cross-save feature. I thought the cross-save feature was genius. I could start playing a game there, and then I can move to here for when I go to work or something. It's just as good on this. It feels like the PC version, and it's good. Like graphically, it looks like the PC version, which didn't get a lot of that back in the earlier consoles, where a PC version going down to a console, like a PC exclusive going down to a console, got dumbed down a lot, especially in the Civ series. Next is SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy. This is a funny game. I found it for like $20 right before Christmas time. It is hilarious. It's just some dude he was enthralled with some female fighters, decided to kidnap them, stick them in his own world, and make them fight, and put them in some of the most ridiculous outfits I've ever seen. It's a decent fighter. Starlink Battle for Atlantis. I just got this, well, basically at the same time I got pretty much every one of these right before Christmas time in 2019. I haven't really played it. I got it for the Switch because it's got the Star Fox stuff in it, and I liked Star Fox back in the day. It looks like it's going to play fun, but I just haven't gotten that far yet. Super Mario Party. Not as good as I was hoping it would be, like in terms of what Mario Party is. I think Mario Party really lost its steam back on the GameCube, like towards the end of the GameCube, because I didn't care for any of them after the GameCube. Like on the Wii, the 3DS one, so one of the 3DS ones was okay, but I didn't really care for this one as much. My wife and I finished it. We unlocked everything. It's a good game, especially if you. I think it supports up to support 4 players, but you can each use your own Switch rather than just having on one thing. And I think there's something special. We just haven't gotten that far yet. And one of my definite favorite games on the Switch right now, Super Mario Odyssey. If you like Super Mario 64, get this. It's basically the same thing in a modern Mario setting. There's a lot to do, a lot to collect. I basically this was the only Switch game I played when I first bought my Switch. I just sat there and just played it and played it, played it, and really truly loved it. I haven't gotten everything. I've finished the game. I'm still trying to work on that super hard hidden world. I make just a random attempt here and there, and some days I get farther than others, and it's just And I haven't gotten all the moon or the hidden moons that are inside the meteors. I haven't gotten all those yet. I'm working slowly on it while I'm playing other stuff. But unfortunately, that is my entire 3DS collection. It's not very or 3DS collection, my Switch collection. It's not very big as I've only had it for a little bit, but it's still coming along. There's still lots of games I want for it, and some that I'm gonna have to miss due to recent issues around my personal life. But when I do get a game, I'm gonna enjoy it. I think that one of the next ones I want to pick up is Witcher 3. Now that it has cross save, now I have two different PC versions of it. Plus, getting the Switch version means I can play it on the go and play it at home on my computer. But if you haven't gotten a Switch yet, I highly recommend it. It is a great system, especially with all the games from the 3DS, the Vita, even from PS4 and and from PC games, even getting ported into it. It's great because it runs really well. Nintendo actually did something right for once. Not so much the Switch Lite. I highly recommend you get the actual full system. The Switch Lite just has too many limitations in it for some games, and it's not worth the effort if you actually really want to game hard. But thank you all for watching. Hopefully we'll see you again soon.